Imagine hearing this one sentence and realizing your entire life has been quietly shaped by it. You are not controlled by lack. You are controlled by the fear of lack. And that fear has been altering your decisions, your focus, your finances, and your relationships long before you ever noticed it. This is the hidden power of scarcity, and it is the reason so many people in 2024 and 2025 feel overwhelmed, stuck, behind schedule, and mentally overloaded, even when they technically have enough. Because scarcity is not about how much you have. It is about how much your mind believes you have lost, and how small your remaining resources feel to you right now. Scarcity is the invisible force that pulls you into survival mode without asking for permission. It narrows your thinking, it hijacks your attention, it drains your bandwidth, and it quietly shapes your identity until you are no longer living from your values, but from your fears. This is why the book Scarcity, Why Having Too Little Means So Much, is not just about poverty, or busyness, or struggle. It is about all of us living in a world where pressure is constant, comparison is instant, and attention is the new currency. Scarcity today is not limited to money. It is everywhere. There is scarcity of time, scarcity of rest, scarcity of peace, scarcity of trust, scarcity of connection, scarcity of attention, scarcity of emotional safety, scarcity of identity, scarcity of meaning. And the cruel twist is that the more the world advances, the more scarcity people feel. Because technology amplifies every comparison, every expectation, every fear, and every reminder that you are running behind the life you think you should already have. The authors describe one of the most dangerous effects of scarcity: tunneling. Imagine your mind as a camera lens. When scarcity hits, the camera zooms in on the threat, the bill, the deadline, the insecurity, the regret, the argument, the fear. And once the mind zooms in, it loses sight of everything else. This tunnel becomes your entire world. You stop seeing opportunities. You stop seeing alternatives. You stop seeing solutions. You stop seeing your own strengths. You stop seeing the people who could help you. You stop seeing the long term. And the tunnel makes you believe there is no escape. This is why when money feels tight, even small expenses feel catastrophic. When time feels tight, even tiny interruptions feel like personal attacks. When love feels scarce, even little misunderstandings feel like abandonment. When confidence feels scarce, even simple tasks feel humiliating. Scarcity tunnels make the smallest problems feel giant, and the biggest goals feel unreachable. And it is not emotional weakness, it is neurological design. Your brain is literally trying to protect you, but it is doing it in a way that exhausts you. The second major effect of scarcity is the bandwidth tax. Your brain has limits, no matter how intelligent, capable, or disciplined you are. Scarcity steals cognitive bandwidth, which is the mental fuel required for self-control, planning, discipline, creativity, memory, focus, learning, and sound decision-making. Have you ever noticed that people struggling financially often make impulsive purchases, not because they lack sense, but because they lack bandwidth? Or people overwhelmed by time pressure often procrastinate, not because they are lazy, but because their mental circuits are overloaded. Or people who feel emotionally starved cling too tightly, withdraw too quickly, or misunderstand too easily, not because they are dramatic, but because scarcity is taxing their emotional bandwidth. When your bandwidth is taxed, even logical choices feel heavy, even simple tasks feel draining, even good habits feel too far away, and you begin to behave in ways that surprise even you. The third trap of scarcity is the scarcity loop, where attempts to solve the problem make the problem worse. Imagine someone short on money. They take extra shifts, they work more hours, but they become exhausted, and the exhaustion leads to poor decisions, impulsive spending, emotional buying, and mental burnout, which leads to even less bandwidth to plan finances. The loop tightens. Imagine someone short on time. They rush through their day, trying to catch up, but rushing creates mistakes, and mistakes create more work, which creates more rushing, which deepens the tunnel. Imagine someone short on connection. They withdraw because vulnerability feels unsafe. The isolation makes the loneliness stronger. The stronger loneliness makes them withdraw further. The scarcity loop is everywhere in modern life, and most people do not even know they are inside it. Scarcity also shapes the trade-off mindset. When you are in survival mode, you start believing everything is either or. You can succeed or you can rest, but not both. You can be available to others or available to yourself, but not both. You can make money or have peace, but not both. You start shrinking your life into tight corners because the tunnel convinces you that abundance is unrealistic. Scarcity trains you to live defensively, not expansively. And here is the piece most people miss. Scarcity thinking survives long after the scarcity ends. Someone who grew up financially unstable may still panic about money, even after becoming successful. Someone who grew up emotionally neglected may still fear abandonment, even in healthy relationships. Someone who grew up in chaotic environments may still struggle to relax, even in peace, because scarcity reshapes your internal physics, and your brain does not immediately adjust once the situation changes. It clings to the fear, even after the danger is gone. This book also reveals something profound. Scarcity increases generosity and selfishness at the same time. When people share struggle, they form deep empathy. But when scarcity threatens survival, people become protective, guarded, defensive, or competitive. The same person can be incredibly generous in one situation and extremely withholding in another, not because of personality, but because scarcity activates different versions of them. And this deeply applies to our world today. There is scarcity of affordable housing in major cities, so people feel financially trapped. There is scarcity of stability in the job market, so people feel replaceable and anxious. There is scarcity of deep relationships, so people are lonely even when surrounded by thousands online. There is scarcity of attention, so people feel irrelevant unless constantly performing. Scarcity is quietly rewriting the emotional climate of modern society. Fewer people feel safe, more people feel overwhelmed. Fewer people feel supported, more people feel isolated. Fewer people feel in control, more people feel emotionally flooded. And the more scarcity people feel, the more they blame themselves. Instead of the system, instead of the environment, instead of the psychological tax they are carrying. This is why the authors say scarcity is not a personal failure. It is a cognitive trap. And when you understand the trap, you can escape it. One of the most mind-shifting ideas in the book is slack. Slack is the space you need to stay human. Slack is margin. Slack is buffer. Slack is breathing room. Slack is emotional space. Slack is time cushion. Slack is financial wiggle room. Slack is the difference between managing life and being crushed by it. Most people today have zero slack. Every minute is scheduled. Every dollar is assigned. Every relationship is stretched. Every decision is urgent. And when you have no slack, the smallest problem becomes disaster. The smallest delay becomes crisis. The smallest setback becomes catastrophe. Slack is not luxury. It is survival. Slack is what protects your bandwidth, your identity, your mental health, your relationships, and your long-term decisions. People who have slack think clearer, react calmer, plan better, love deeper, and recover faster. The book also talks about scarcity's impact on identity. It says scarcity shrinks who you believe you are. When you feel like you never have enough time, you start believing you are disorganized. When you feel like you never have enough money, you start believing you are irresponsible. When you feel like you never have enough love, you start believing you are unworthy. Scarcity rewrites your story with lies. It takes situational pressures and turns them into personal judgments. But when you unravel the psychology of scarcity, you begin to see the truth. You were never the problem. The bandwidth tax was the problem. The tunnel was the problem. The loop was the problem. The lack of slack was the problem. Your brain was overloaded, not broken. Your identity was compressed, not invalid. Your worth was never the issue. You were functioning under mental scarcity, not personal inadequacy. When you shift from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset, you are not magically making more money, or more time, or more opportunities appear. You are widening the lens. You are reclaiming bandwidth. You are breaking the loop. You are choosing intentionality over panic. You are creating slack. You are stepping out of survival mode and stepping back into agency. You begin to see options. You begin to see possibilities. You begin to see solutions. You begin to see your own power again. The authors make it clear, scarcity is not solved by willpower. Scarcity is solved by bandwidth design, by building systems, routines, buffers, support networks, and life structures that protect your attention and energy. The more predictable your life becomes, the less scarcity controls you. If you want to escape scarcity, you create margin. If you want to break the tunnel, you expand your perspective. If you want to fight the bandwidth tax, you simplify your environment. If you want to break the scarcity loop, you interrupt the pattern with rest, reflection, or support. If you want to rewrite your identity, you separate your circumstances from your worth. And as we reach the end of this journey, here is the transformation the book wants you to realize. You are not failing, you are overloaded. You are not incapable, you are taxed. You are not behind, you are tunneled. You are not weak, you are bandwidth starved. You are not broken, you are burdened. And once you understand this, you can finally breathe again. You can finally think again. You can finally choose again. You can finally rebuild again. You can finally lead your life instead of reacting to it. So as you finish watching this, I want you to remember this. Scarcity is a thief. It steals your clarity, your confidence, your joy, and your future. But once you see the thief, once you understand its methods, once you break its loops, once you reclaim your bandwidth, everything changes. Your mind expands, your decisions sharpen, your energy returns, your identity shifts, your life opens, and abundance becomes possible. And before you click away, let me invite you into something powerful. If this message opened your eyes, if this perspective shifted your thinking, if this breakdown made you understand yourself more deeply, then like this video, comment your thoughts below, share your own scarcity experience, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell, because we are building a community that does not just survive the modern world, but learns how to master it one insight at a time. Your transformation begins now.